Willkommen und komm schon, schon. What is it?
Du durchsprechen jetzt.
Willkommen und komm schon.
Willkommen und komm schon.
Welcome and come in. That's in honor of, we're going to talk today about the Oktoberfest. Survivors ready? Alexa, what is the weather on Wednesday?
Here's the forecast for Wednesday, September 27th.
And that's today.
For mostly sunny weather, with a high of 77 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 43 degrees.
It's hot today.
Wow, and after we just winterized our whole cabin, it's a summer day.
77.
That's shocking.
What? Turn the fans on right now.
Uh-oh, someone switched the curtains. How can this be?
Switch them back to those summer days. Why are we wearing sweaters?
This is such a hot day.
This is intense.
Wow. I wouldn't have pictured that on a Sunday afternoon when it was brisk and chilly.
I would never have guessed.
3 days ago. All right, we're back to it. That's our weather, and we should be in t-shirts by all accounts, but it's...
We did not get that memo.
We did not.
We're still in the 43-degree part of that day, but it will get hotter today, so wear layers, and one of those layers should be a tank top.
If you're in Big Bear, go to the beach. Enjoy the lake beach, the beach lake. Okay, let's see what we have next. It's time for words of the day.
Before we do words of the day, if I can interrupt you, we forgot to do our shout outs yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
We forgot to do our shout outs yesterday, and we did have a shout out. So we want to give a shout out to, do you want to do it since it's your episode?
I'll do the first name. How about Nada?
Oh, first name of the one person? Yeah. I was like, was there another name that I'm not aware of? It's Nada Sherifuddin. I hope we were pronouncing that correctly. Gave us a beautiful comment. Thank you,
Very
Nada.
thoughtful. Nada, shout out to you. Thank you for watching. I hope you get this message because I know it's been a few days.
And also to Richard and Barbara who watch every episode twice.
Hello, Richard. Hello, Barbara. We call you Mom and Dad, but the rest
world
of the world...
calls...
And... words of the day, words of the day.
Words of the day, come what may, here we say, words of the day.
So words of
I went really deep. Please cut that because I went into like baritone.
The words of today, our quotation for inspiration is something I thought, I'm going to test you a little bit, Cinnamon, because Cinnamon has the German knowledge.
Ooh.
I don't know why there's a FaceTime just popped up on my screen. That's awkward. All right. Shall I let the computer say it or shall I try it first?
Oh, either one.
I would say, Bad Reif hält nicht steif.
Waldreif hält nicht steif.
One more time.
Waldreif hält nicht steif.
Bad Reif hält nicht steif.
Well, something has nothing and I don't know what steif is.
It means ripe soon does not keep. But when I looked at what that means is, it's a proverb, a German proverb, that means basically, we have a proverb very similar. It's not coming to me right now, so it makes it very, I'm stalling.
Is it haste makes waste?
No, it's a little bit about how you're having immediate success is not the success that lasts. You want it to take some time. If it's ripe really quickly, that goes bad very quickly. Oh. So you want... Which, that's so German.
What goes up must come down. Maybe is that our idiom?
No, it's, I think haste makes waste maybe is the closest. It's just about if you have a little online morning show with your 50 viewers and you're not quite yet to 1 million yet, you don't want to have 1 million tomorrow because haste makes waste or
it's going to be one step at a time, and in 1 million days, we will have 1 million viewers.
How many years is that? Now we're on to Wildlife Watch.
I hear a helicopter, which is, when we hear a helicopter, it's usually they're looking for a missing hiker, which they'll announce.
True.
That's happened like twice since we've been on the mountain.
The first week we moved here to the cabin, and this is a great little cabin insight.
So you hear it.
We heard a helicopter with someone saying, hello, like calling out to someone.
So they're the missing person they're looking for.
And coming straight from LA and Newport, we were like, what? So we called 911 and we said, there's a helicopter and someone's screaming and what's going on and can we help? And they said a hiker, they said, and she actually explained, she's like, here on the mountain, when a hiker or someone goes missing, we take it very seriously. And what they're doing is they're calling out the physical description of the hiker that's missing. They're saying pink shirt, jeans.
So we can all be on
And they
the
found
lookout.
that person, by the way. They did. It was
They
an
did.
elderly man.
Yes, and that's happened a couple times. So when I hear a helicopter, it's either one or two reasons on the mountain. It's either, or three if medevac counts, but I'm not aware of those.
That's a survivor term. I've never heard that on the medevac. Do they do that on the mountain as well? I guess they could, sure.
It's because when you've gone to when I've dropped you off at the ER for the cat rescue.
For the rabies shot.
It says, they have a sign ready to put in the driveway that says, stop here, helicopter landing. So I know they must have.
Oh, okay.
So the helicopter for missing hikers, and then for forest fires. When there's forest fires in the area, you hear the helicopters because that's how
They're
they
dropping
do
water.
Well, and there's surveillance, like how they let us know what the latest is.
Yeah.
But so we know that the air quality warning, and now we hear a
you're hearing
helicopter, and I'm like, how
Pause
close
here
is
just
this
to check
fire?
outdoors.
In Big Bear Lake, California, there are currently no active wildfires.
Oh. Wildlife Watch. Today's Wildlife Watch is brought to you by Jackie and Shadow. See our two famous local bald eagles who usually start getting the nest ready in around, well, late October, November, I think. But they are still in the area. Jackie was spotted on the roost tree this morning. So they are close by to the nest.
Now, there's a roost tree that we don't watch as diligently as the nest tree.
Yeah,
Is
there's
that
two
correct?
cameras you can watch on YouTube. One is sort of focused on the nest, and one is focused on, I guess it's the roost tree.
And the roost tree is where they hang out when there's no eggs involved.
It's also where Shadow does a lot of his
Hunting dives from?
well, when Jackie's on the nest, Shadow's close by on the roost tree to kind of keep an eye on everything.
Oh, okay.
I think. Allison, when she went to the ER, was talking to someone who lives in Fawnskin, which is very close to where the eagle tree is. And so she's very aware of the... Jackie and Shadow are not the only bald eagles we have in the area, but they're the most famous. And she said that the bald eagles, not necessarily Jackie and Shadow, could be anyone, were famously chest bumping, is what she said, the little dogs, that they would come down like, this is what she described as chest bumping the little dogs. And I find that so fantastical.
Well, but if you've seen Proposal with Sandy Bullock and Ryan Reynolds.
That's plucking up chest bumping? Why? I don't understand the purpose of that.
Maybe they had to cut it out for interest in time. But what she was implying is definitely the eagles are aiming for those little Pomeranians, etc., etc.
I think if they're chest bumping the little dogs, maybe that's a hello.
You think that's a greeting?
It's a greet. It's
sort
of like a...
It's like a fist pump?
Hey!
I don't know.
How you doing on the mountain? That kind of thing. Because if they were serious, they would grab them up.
I think that's step 2. I think she was saying that's how they kill them, is with their... That's interesting, though. I'm definitely going to Google that. But for next, we have current events. Current events. If you like your raisins, you'll like current events.
Hey!
We went to Oktoberfest in Big Bear Lake on the mountain. Here we are, and it was festive. It was
very German.
Very German.
We had a band from Cologne, which I've been to.
And they had a menu that was authentic German with the price tag of a flight to Germany. So that's how authentic it was.
We both said, didn't we? We said we
did.
could have flown to Germany and grabbed something in a train station. And
all we had was a vegan sausage and
we shared it.
Vegan bratwurst, and we shared a pretzel. And we had to hand over our mortgage payments just for It's beautiful, it's festive, and I guess they have to pay the plane tickets for the band.
They did. They flew them
and
in
they
from
do
Germany.
It through our meal alone. It was fun though. It was there was dancing. They had little booths. It was and beautifully done. And I have to say, what makes it fun is they truly do import German bands, and then all of the people who work there are in full German attire. Now we have a little bit of show and tell.
It's show and share, but it's also our cabin cam. Is the soup that I made.
Oh, that's right.
I made an autumnal soup. You know, it's getting cooler and cooler at night. Well, until today, Wednesday, we're at 77 degrees. But I thought, ooh, a nice autumn soup. And so I was looking up pumpkin soup, actually. And there's this whole recipe, and at the end, they're like, and your pumpkin can be butternut squash or acorn squash or something. And I realized, it was an Australian, I think, recipe. Oh. And they call squash pumpkins, I think.
Okay.
Correct me if you're in Australia and you're like, that's not true. But I believe that they use the pumpkin to describe what we call squash.
Well, it had a very specific flavor, didn't it?
So I ended up going to another recipe that I found.
A rosemary soup.
For a butternut squash. It was the top rated.
Butternut / rosemary soup.
It was top rated. Didn't find out till the 5 hours after I made it that Allison doesn't like rosemary.
No worries. It was delicious.
It only had a tablespoon of minced fresh rosemary that I went specifically to get at the grocery store. But anyway, so I made this butternut squash soup where you'll see I had to cut up a butternut. First, I had to look up how to peel a butternut squash. Had no
that
idea.
was a whole activity because you were having trouble finding the right peeler.
Oh, I could not find the right peeler. I used the cheese cutter, what you've been using as a cheese cutter from Switzerland, but actually is a peeler.
But you used my peeler.
Your peeler?
Did you blunt it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think
that's
that would have been
straight from
possible.
Switzerland. So
yeah, not possible. Not possible. And so I had to cut up this whole squash, had to cut an entire onion, had to mince my fresh sage, mince my fresh rosemary, mince 3 cloves of garlic, do all this stuff. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, ooh, what am I going to do with all this soup? We're going to have to put it in the freezer. We'll be eating squash soup from now till December. I'll have to send some down the mountain to family members so they can get some of this squash soup. Cooked it for hours and hours, and Allison said, I'm going to go on a hike, and I said, the soup will be ready in 12 minutes. She said, if you could just hold on to it, I'm going on a hike. I said, sure, fine. Let the soup boil away on the stove for an hour and a half, and Allison came, and wouldn't you know, that soup barely filled 2 bowls.
Not because of my hike. Cinnamon was just adding that in as a fun detail.
I'm sure.
Cinnamon always finds a way to blame me. Had nothing to do with my hike.
These are facts. I'm laying out facts. But
first of all, it was a soup applesauce. It was that thickness, and it was delicious. And
thank you.
And Cinnamon is a master at flavors, so it
I just followed a recipe.
It had a rosemary flavor. I'm not a huge fan of rosemary, but the flavors, I still enjoyed it. And for someone who doesn't like rosemary to still enjoy it, it was a delicious soup. You'll see my little show and share, my show and tell is a little easier. I made some gingerbread.
Are we finished with the soup?
Yeah, we're finished. That was 3 hours later. I'll be editing. Don't give me too much to edit here. Don't give me too much to edit. That was a long story. No, it's the same one.
Excuse me.
That's a long story.
Not a long story.
Yeah,
Welcome to life. This show's about to end.
That was a super long
27 minutes. That's the button. That's all we have for you guys.
No, it's not. It's not the button.
I've worked on soup like... Listen, stop. I worked on that soup.
No, you'll see.
I worked on...
You'll see.
Stop. I worked on that soup for 5 hours, and your reaction is being used as a segue for gingerbread.
Here you'll see.
That's not at all it. Al, I literally worked on it.
Can we sit in it for a minute? Let's stew, so to speak. But I would like you to really take a minute and look at these.
I just wanted to say very quickly. I was going to say I will not be making butternut squash soup again this season. That was my one and done.
Fingers crossed. But here we have. Guys, listen. Thinking of you, Lovey. Thinking of you, Lovey.
Remember, I've got some butternut squash for you next time I see you.
Thank you, Alexa, for once.
Right
on time.
We're on it.
Alexa, thank you. We are on time.
She said
and
wrap up, and we're wrapping up.
Here's something fun to know. We're wrapping up because Alexa, stop. That's one step too far.
We're on it. Thank you.
We're gonna go Zoom with Lovey.
Woo,
we're having our
see
Zoom.
You in just a few
see
minutes.
you in about 2 seconds, love. So everyone else, enjoy
your Wednesday.
Touch
Halfway
grass.
through the week. Isn't that sad? You don't want to be at the weekend this fast. You want to enjoy this week. Savor every minute.
All you have is today. Remember, the riper the fruit, the quicker, what's the German, it spoils. You know what we're saying. Don't eat fruit. All right. Do unto others
as you'd have them do unto you. Have a good one. See you tomorrow when we do our cabin tour.